A very warm afternoon to all the ladies and gentlemen present in the conference hall. Our guest of honor for the afternoon, Mr. Jayaprakash Pandey from the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India, New Delhi. Dr. Sanjeev Chopra, Mrs. Rashmi Chopra from the Valley of Words, Mr. Abhishek Kesarwani, Principal Oak Grove School, who is with us. Our eminent members of jury who have taken up this Herculean task of judging the national level debate for the school students organized by the Valley of Words. So I would like to introduce our three eminent jury members, and I would request them that they should take their respective places. First, Mr. L.S. Vajpayee. Sir. Mrs. Anmol Pannu. And last but not the least, Dr. Onima Sharma. Now, just to give a brief introduction of our eminent panel of jury, Mr. L.S. Vajpayee has been a renowned broadcaster. He has given live commentary of more than 115 national and international events such as Republic Day Parade, Goa Film Festival, Commonwealth Games, Lahore Bus Journey, and the list goes on. He is associated with the launch of Mann Ki Baat program of our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi and launch of FM Gold and National Channel of All India Radio. Further, he has been associated with 7 universities as guest faculty and examiner. He is a prominent poet of India and visited at least 12 countries for poetry recitation. Also chairing the board for IAS and IPS mock interviews for an NGO called Sankalp. So we are proud to have such an eminent jury member with us for the debate. To introduce Mrs. Anmol Pannu, she is an educator and she has headed Tiny Tots School, and being from the army background, she has taught on every opportunity she has got in the army field. She has also trained the people in personality development, communication skills, and specifically the college students. She has been a passionate traveler, reader, cook, and ma'am, the last one means really, I would like a round of applause. She has been a paratrooper as well. Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Onima Sharma, she is an Associate Professor, Department of Sociology in DAV PG College, Dehradun. She is an active member of an international sociological association and has presented papers at the World Congress of Sociology held in Sweden and Tokyo. She is founder of this Mantra Debating Society that fosters public speaking amongst youth. Really a noble job, ma'am. To expand it further, she is the coordinator for the Indira Gandhi National Open University Study Center at DAV PG College, Dehradun. And obviously, being such a renowned personality, she has published many research papers in various national and international journals. So, ma'am, we welcome you as our panel of jury for this national level debate for the school students organized by the Valley of Words. And to give a brief introduction about this debate, obviously we headed for 8 verticals that were the schools under the Ministry of Railways, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya Vidyalayas, DAV, DPS, Sainik School and Mussoorie boarding schools. Out of which 5 verticals they responded, and the verticals, due to some or other reason which couldn't respond, they happened to be DPS, DAV and the Sainik School verticals. So out of these 5 verticals, 2 verticals I had the previous opportunity also to organize and conduct the debates. That was for the Mussoorie boarding schools vertical and the schools under Ministry of Railways. Now, to come with these 2 verticals, we have finally filtered out 2 participants from these 2 verticals. The schools under Ministry of Railways, 17 responded, and there were 34 participants. We conducted pre-quarter final 1, pre-quarter final 2, then quarter final, then we came to semi-final, then we came to the finals. In the Mussoorie boarding school vertical, we were there with 18 participants. We started with the quarter final, then we moved to the semi-final and then lastly finals. Now, the last thing which I would like to announce from here, the topics that were selected for all these rounds of the debates were different, quite innovative, and the children, they participated in full zeal, enthusiasm. Like the topic for today's debate that has been decided well in coordination with Dr. Chopra. The topic for today's debate is relying on cryptocurrencies like bitcoins is harmful. And this is the topic for the final round of the debate. And ultimately, we are having our 4 finalists who shall be joining in shortly. Judges, I would like to just request you to see to it that Yuvraj Chauhan, the first participant from Mussoorie boarding schools, he shall be speaking in favor. Nick Varghese shall be speaking against the motion. And the remaining 2 participants, Sridhar Sharma from Indian Railway Schools and Shravil from Global Schools Foundation, they shall be speaking in favor of the motion, both of them. Now this simply happened, ma'am, the reason being that from only 1 vertical, both the participants qualified, and from the remaining 2 verticals, only 1 participant qualified. So they were having a choice whether they want to speak in favor or they want to speak against the motion. So here we are. Yuvraj, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Am I audible and visible?
You are audible as well as visible. So you are speaking in favor of the motion.
Yes, sir.
Are you speaking in favor?
Yes, I'm speaking in favor of the motion.
Great. Nick Varghese, you are speaking
Yes,
against
sir.
the motion? Audible to you?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Please unmute yourself, Nick.
Sir, I have unmuted myself, sir.
Against the motion?
Yes, I am speaking against the motion.
That's great. Sridhar, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
You are speaking in favor of the motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shravil,
Yes, sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay. You are speaking in favor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are all set and ready to start with the final round of this debate, and as we generally say, that do not wait until the conditions are perfect to begin. Beginning makes the conditions perfect. So this is my advice to all the participants. All the best. We have got our timekeeper ready with us. And I hope all the participants know this thing, that your timing is 4 plus 1, that is 5. And there shall be a timer running over here on the screen, which you would be able to see. The timer that you will see of 5 minutes running on the screen. And obviously our timekeeper will definitely tell you after every speaker that what has been your time exceeded by. If you exceed your time, say by 14 seconds, 13 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, we are not saying anything, but if the time exceeds by 15 seconds, then the timekeeper will definitely tell that he has exceeded the time limit by these many seconds. And the last but not the least, there is no speaker who shall be speaking in Hindi. All these 4 speakers shall be presenting their viewpoint in English. Sir, maybe start. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, that beginning makes the condition perfect. So, let's begin with the final round of the national debate for schools. And as obvious, we are having 3 speakers speaking for the motion, only 1 speaking against. So, we shall have 2 speakers back to back speaking in favor of the motion. And the first speaker I would like to call upon Yuvraj Chauhan, representing Masuri Boarding Schools Vertical, to present his views. Yuvraj, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please start.
So I'll be starting in 3, 2, 1. Cryptocurrency is a product embedded in high level of illegality. Not my words, ladies and gentlemen, the words of the governor of the Nigeria Central Bank. Mark Cuban, American billionaire and a member of the Forbes 400 list, compared investing in cryptocurrency to gambling. Ladies and gentlemen, in July, the accounts of the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, a former President, Barack Obama, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk were hacked. Arguably the most secure digital spaces in the world, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin were gone in a matter of minutes. This in turn revealed multiple accounts of Bitcoin theft and fraud. And finally, in 2017, ladies and gentlemen, the price of Bitcoin fell to a third of its original value in a single day, wiping out billions of dollars in a matter of minutes. So far, ladies and gentlemen, we have losses of billions of dollars, accounts of theft, fraud, funding for terrorism, risky security, and a comparison to gambling. And that is enough, ladies and gentlemen, to prove today that that cryptocurrency is harmful. But I will be consolidating my stance before you today with the help of a few constructive arguments. Good afternoon to the House at large. I, Yuvraj Singh Chauhan, stand before you firmly proposing today's motion. And I consider it my foremost duty to explain the keywords in the topic. Number 1, relying, which means that there is a certain dependence to bringing in income by investing in cryptocurrency. Number 2, cryptocurrencies, which basically means that in basic terms, it is a digital currency where the transactions are not maintained by a centralized authority. And number 3, ladies and gentlemen, harmful, which basically means damaging, injurious, or dangerous. However, ladies and gentlemen, in order to actually and effectively debate on today's topic, I will be clarifying 2 things for you. First of all, what are cryptocurrencies? And secondly, how they have already proved harmful and continue to do so in the present. So what are cryptocurrencies? Just as the barter system was a medium of transaction, cryptocurrency is also a medium of transaction. However, there is one major difference. It is completely digital without a physical embodiment. Secondly, it is decentralized, ladies and gentlemen, as defined, which basically means that the transaction is only between 2 private parties. This transaction is private and may be also anonymous, bringing me to my first constructive argument. Despite the exponential growth, cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular are incredibly volatile. Because Bitcoin is a new industry, a new currency, and cryptocurrencies are a completely new market, which is why there might be exponential growth in prices, but there might also be a sudden change or drop in the price, which again, I would like you, all of you, to recall the situation in 2017, which resulted in a loss of millions of dollars within hours. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has a chance of happening today, despite the exponential growth that Bitcoin has displayed. Now, the general currencies that we already have, be it the rupee, the dollar, the yen, there are certain fundamental rules or laws that govern and protect the currency. But Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, is a mode of transaction. And secondly, it is not a fully functioning currency. And that is why it does not have these fundamental laws or rules that protect the industry and that protect the people investing in this currency, which again may prove harmful for those investing as the market fluctuates. Bringing me to my second constructive argument. Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, let me clarify for you, is not money. It is a tradable asset assigned a value according to demand, but it isn't backed by any central entity like a particular government or a bank. So another way to put across it would be Bitcoin, or any cryptocurrency for that matter, has value because the people say that it has value. But there isn't any government or regulations that will ensure or protect the value of Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum for that matter. And the moment the market decides that this particular cryptocurrency isn't valuable, the share prices of that particular cryptocurrency drop, and immediately there, ladies and gentlemen, there again is a loss, which proves to be harmful to the investors who are invested in that particular market or cryptocurrency, bringing me to my third constructive argument. Ladies and gentlemen, in a financial dispute of today, there are third parties involved, be it a government, be it a bank, which regulate and control transactions with witnesses to protect the interests of both parties. However, when we step into the world of cryptocurrency, when we go into completely unregulated and decentralized territory of cryptocurrencies, there is absolutely no way we can protect ourselves. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why crypto are completely unreliable. We do live in the age of technology where we are gradually adapting to digital modes of everyday life. However, cryptocurrencies in present format may seem incredibly rewarding, but the fact of the matter remains that as educated, smart individuals, it is our duty to ensure that something of that matter does not happen and that we ensure that there is a safe environment for all of us today. With this, I rest my case and I'm very proud to propose. Thank you so much.
Honorable judges, kindly note that the participant has taken 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
So, obviously, I request the judges that from the sum total, there shall be a deduction of 1 mark. Sir and ma'am. Any questions? Question? Please raise your hand. Anybody who wants to ask questions, please raise hand.
So may I?
Mute yourself.
Yes, sir. May I ask a question?
Yes, please, Ravil, ask your question.
Yeah, so thank you for your wonderful speech. If government is not supporting cryptocurrency, it neither has been banned by the government. What are your comments on this matter?
Thank you so much for your question, sir. It allows me to consolidate a point. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to draw your attention to a particular date, November 18th, on Thursday, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that cryptocurrencies must not fall into the wrong hands and spoil our youth. This is a direct quote from our Prime Minister. And he urged all democratic nations to come together and ensure that things like non-regulation of cryptocurrencies does not happen. And that the government and the RBI have recently hinted about floating a strong regulatory control on cryptocurrency to avoid money laundering and terror financing rather than banning it entirely. So the fact of the matter is that when the government and the RBI are taking such a step to ensure that cryptocurrencies are regulated within all democratic regulations, it simply proves the fact of the matter that cryptocurrencies may prove to be harmful, have already proved to be harmful. And that is why the government is taking this step to ensure that it does not cause further harm to the citizens of India as well as to any other citizens who might be invested in a particular cryptocurrency. Thank you so much for your question.
Question, please. Anybody who would like to take on the next question? Sridhar or Nick? No questions? Okay. Judges may please note that the participants was asked only one question, so 10 marks he gets full and he shall be evaluated out of the remaining 10 for the question that he has been asked. Thank you. So whenever you are ready, we can take on the next participant, ma'am. Members of jury, can we take on the next participant, ma'am? Okay. So after the first participant from the Masuri Boarding Schools vertical, that is Yuvraj Chauhan, our next speaker for the afternoon is Sridhar Sharma from the Indian Railway Schools vertical, speaking in favor of the motion. Sridhar, are you ready?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please start.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Not every novel idea is a noble one, and so is the case with cryptocurrency. I'm not here to completely negate the possibilities that a crypto world might open to us, but rather to warn us all against an over reliance on this crypto at the expense of existing financial structures. Now, what is it that scares me of crypto? Well, Jeremy Powell once said that crypto is no currency at all. It's rather an asset, and that too a highly speculative one. This brings me to my first concern, that is volatility. You see, crypto is a highly volatile asset. Let's suppose for a moment that we live in an economy where crypto is the basis of the monetary system. Now, by the time you reach the market from your home, you might discover that the value of your purse has depreciated by 5 or 10%. This rather makes it impossible to conduct business and trade in such an economy. And this is my first point, that crypto is unfit to be known as currency, for it lacks in two of its most basic functions. One, to have a store of value, and two, to act as a medium of exchange. This brings me to my second point, that is cybersecurity and threat issues. Now, crypto was basically envisaged to be the beginning of a deregularized financial sector. But in its quest to be deregulated, it has landed up on the other side of the crime spectrum. Today, thanks to blockchain technology, we are unable to really find out what kind of illicit financial trades are going on in the crypto sphere. Like Jared Yellen said, it has the potential to actually disrupt the legal financial status of the world. Now, can we really believe in something which costed us $0.6 billion fraud in August? Not exactly. This brings me to my third point. It has the potential to dismantle the entire banking system. Now, let's think it for a moment. Crypto, in its quest to be deregulated, actually bypasses the centralized payment processing protocols. This lends it extremely harmful for the entire world. Today, we really do not know where does a cryptocurrency move or go. While we may be, with much effort, be able to trace the kind of transactions that are happening, we may never be able to point out the parties which are involved in it. And 75% of the transactions in crypto, according to research, are for illicit financial purposes. Can we ignore this? And now this brings me to the most volatile and debatable topic of crypto's efficiency. That is its environmental impacts. I'm quite bad at facts, so as was allowed by the debate, I have written it down. 1. Bitcoin network produces 11.5 kilotons of e-waste every year. Bitcoin uses 12 terawatt hour of current every year, which is more than that of Argentina, and crypto mining accounts for 35 to 95 million tons of CO2 emissions annually. My question is this. Just now, we have had a COP26 summit. The world wants to move towards a more sustainable future. And then here we are proposing a kind of financial situation, a financial institution, a financial system, which won't even allow the world to remain sustainable for the next few decades to come. Are we really trying to shoulder the responsibility for this? Are we really willing to have a financial system which would not leave any system at all in place? I don't think so. I'm particularly worried about crypto's rise. Not because I feel it's all sad all along, but because I fear that in our quest to be highly influential and deregulated, we might disrupt this world. You know, Like Jawaharlal Nehru once said, the world does not end with a bang, it ends with a whimper. That's what is crypto. It might seem enticing and seductive in the first place. It is not really good for the world affairs. Thank you so much. It's how I rest my case.
Thank you.
Honorable judges, kindly note that the participant has taken 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
It's well within time limits, ma'am. Thank you. Any questions, please? Yes, Yuvraj.
So am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please ask.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for your wonderful debate. You talked about environmental impact, and the fact that the information that I would like to raise today is the fact that 3.5 billion to 7 billion trees are cut down every year in USA alone to fund the paper required to actually create money. So when we are completely going to something that is digital, are we not actually helping the environment instead of contributing to the cut down of trees and global warming? Please comment.
Could you just let me know what was the question part in it?
Us- Do you not believe that cryptocurrencies are actually far more helpful in reducing the environmental harmful impacts to the environment when we are actually reducing the amount of the trees that are cut down to make paper money, and when we are completely going digital?
Well, this argument is like we need to replace the saint with the Satan. I mean, it doesn't work. Yes, I do accept that printing money actually causes environmental degradation, but so does cryptocurrency. There is one concept in cryptocurrency that is the more the price of it rises, more complex do get the mathematical puzzles required to be solved to actually what we call as minting of this cryptocurrency, and this requires immense amount of energy consumption. 75% of the cryptocurrency is in China, which is the largest emitter of CO2 gases in the world. So my point is clear. While there is some sort of environmental destruction in the printing of paper currency, it does not mean that crypto is actually a viable replacement of it. It is as bad, equally bad, or rather I must say worse than it, because it also produces electronic waste that cannot be actually ignored. 12 kilotons annually is not something we can just be done with. Thank you.
Yes, Nick. Next question, Nick Varghese. Please ask your question.
Mr. Speaker, you talked about how cryptocurrency can't be used for many basic transactions and that it is not a viable use of the word currency. But you fail to understand that the key points where cryptocurrency trumps paper money is cost-effective mode of transaction. That is the speed. That is the as much as less time it takes for fees to be transferred from one border to another, and the fact that currency exchanges from one currency of crypto to actual paper money currencies like dollars and euros are faster than ever before. Please comment on that, Guruji.
I think the particular aspect that has been questioned over here is the status of stable coins that we call in the crypto terminology. But I need to be really sure how many stable coins are there in existence. On top of that, what are the transactions, cross-border transactions that we are really talking about? They aren't the ones that really help the retail owners on the streets, or they aren't the ones that really help people day in and day out. You can't buy a slice of pizza or a Coke bottle with cryptocurrency. That is the basic function of money, to aid you with your daily life. And when something negates this and jumps into the other side of it, I can't consider it to be something really useful. I think that which doesn't affect our life directly or constantly cannot be really a viable option at the moment, at least, for replacing the current standards of money. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sridhar. Uh, Judges, are we ready to take on the next speaker? Okay. So our only sole speaker speaking against the motion shall be presenting his views. I request Nick Varghese. Nick, are you ready?
Yes, sir. So am I audible and visible, sir?
Start.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share an example with you about something that we have all been warned about. through television advertisements, billboard plaques, and celebrity talks. Imagine a driver driving drunk on the road and gets into a car accident. Who does side proposition want to blame here today? The road? The car? A traffic light? Literally everything except the drunk driver. Despite the fact that it was the fault of the drunk driver. Despite that they had been warned against drinking and driving. He did it anyway. The fact of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, is simple. This is life, and life is risky. And that is exactly the reason why I can't stand and watch cryptocurrency take the fall for the ignorance and inadequate preparation of its users in life, which is why I firmly oppose today's motion. Good afternoon to one and all present here. First of all, before I continue with my debate, I'd like to clarify the topic beforehand. You see, cryptocurrency is a form of electronic or online currency that is extremely unpredictable, and it has no definite value and is controlled by private corporations, meaning that it's in its natural state itself, it's an unpredictable currency that inherently can't be relied on. Which then takes me to my first argument. That is, an average man can't rely on cryptocurrency in the first place because it is out of their means to not only afford it, but it is also too expensive to keep it as their only one source of income. Now, let's take the example of the famous Bitcoin itself. One Bitcoin at the moment costs 43 lakhs, which is way too expensive for even middle class people to own, and neither is feasible as their only source of income. As majority people who invest in cryptocurrencies in the first place should be of two types. Either they do it for the status symbol, that is the trend, or they have surplus money and other sources of income and wanted to try out some new things like cryptocurrency for themselves. Furthermore, people without other sources of income should not rely on cryptocurrency in the first place, as the upper class mostly has multiple sources of income, while the middle class don't. And that is what prevents them, the middle class, from investing in cryptocurrency. Now, moving on to my second constructive argument, if executed wisely, cryptocurrency is in no way harmful, as there are many measures that need to be taken to completely eliminate any harm that can be caused. There are two possible meanings to the use of the word harmful in this case. Let's talk about how cryptocurrency is not harmful to the earth in the first place. Now, if we talk about the maintenance of the normal money system that we use in day to day life, banking deposits and paper money, they produce 400 million metric tons of CO2 each year, which exceeds the amount of CO2 produced by Bitcoin mining by more than 4 times, ladies and gentlemen. To add on to that, 15 billion, yes, billion trees are cut down just for the purpose of printing money, which in turn causes deforestation, which is the second major driver of climate change, responsible for more than 25% of global annual carbon dioxide emissions. The best way to do that is in a few simple ways. So, the best way to avoid this, why not use cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin instead of the more harmful paper money? Now, talking about how harmful Bitcoin may be because of the price changes, you have to understand the fact that one cannot just blindly invest in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and hope to become a millionaire overnight. Instead, if one researches exchanges, knows how to store their currency, diversifies their investments, and seeks professional help from professional cryptocurrency traders, they would be able to eliminate any harm that they would suffer. Let's take the example of you approaching a cryptocurrency firm. The first thing that the firm head will tell you is that they can't guarantee you an extreme increase in your income, but they can guarantee you no decrease at all, no failure of your money, because they have enough research and information to put multiple fail safes that will make sure that no money is lost. But this means that once researched and put a lot of effort, cryptocurrencies are definitely not harmful. Moreover, many of the speakers today spoke about how Bitcoin and other currencies have no practical use in day-to-day life. Well, it seems they haven't researched well to know the practical uses. I believe the previous speaker talked about how you can't use it to buy a pizza slice. Well, if you read carefully, you'll actually understand that the Home Depot, Namecheap, Starbucks, and many other companies have started taking cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So tomorrow, if I walk into Home Depot, I can buy a slice of pizza. If you had researched properly, you would have known that. And for those who have mistaken the fact that Bitcoins can be hacked or you may lose a lot of money, you have to understand the fact that to hack Bitcoin, you'd have to hack the whole network. To take over the whole network, you would need your own network of computers running 24/7. To do that, it would cost billions of dollars, and it would still prove to be a waste of time and resources with the algorithms that are there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty simple. It's up to you to make the right decision with cryptocurrency. Either you can research, seek help, and succeed, or you can do what the side proposition decided to do today and guess and be naive and blame cryptocurrency for their fall. I myself have made the smart and calculated decision of investing in cryptocurrency, and I can see the future in it. Because no matter what, there is risk in everything, ladies and gentlemen. That's how the investment market works. Anything you do will be risky. However, it is up to you to follow the right guidelines, you to put the effort, you to put your brain into it and make the right decisions. Don't be like side proposition today, twist facts to represent cryptocurrency as a monster, and instead be the better person. With this, I'd like to end my debate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable judges, kindly note that the participant has taken 6 minutes.
Ma'am, there shall be a respected members of jury. There shall be a straightaway reduction of 4 marks from the total marks. He has exceeded the 15-second parameter by 4 times. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, may I?
Please. Who wants to ask?
Yeah. Ashridhar,
Any takers?
may I? Hello, may I?
Please.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, your entire argument was based on one central point, which I could guess was, cryptocurrency is not meant for all. So I want you to explain me this. Then how do you actually justify the rising boom or madness behind cryptocurrency and say that despite its volatility, which you yourself accepted, crypto cannot destabilize the financial sector itself? Why isn't it a monster in its own right when it has all the potential to destabilize the sector itself?
Thank you so much for your question, Mr. Interjector. It seems you didn't pay attention because my whole debate was based on what you just want me to answer. But to further, explain it to you in simpler words so that you're able to comprehend what I'm trying to explain. The fact of the matter is, whether cryptocurrency may be as volatile as you may think, there are what we would like to call fail safes in every business. Now, in investments itself, if you yourself invest in a cryptocurrency, there is no guarantee to what will happen. But if you seek professional help, they have enough research and the capital to be able to tell you that so and so cryptocurrency may not increase, and whether it does or not, they have backups, fail safes, that if you do go in loss, they will they will pay you the amount they did lose. They will make sure that you at the end of the day lose a single penny, which means that in no way will cryptocurrency harm the person who is investing or spending their money for a little benefit. And if it does turn out to be a benefit, it's all the better. They earned a lot of money overnight. That's the fact that you're not able to understand that cryptocurrencies benefits over exceed the harms that you see is the exact crux of my argument. Thank you.
You second question. Any taker for the second question? Shravil, Yuvraj, you would like to ask? No? Okay. Judges may please note that the speaker was asked only one question, so he shall be evaluated out of 10 marks, and 10 marks he get full in the rebuttal column. Thank you. Vajpayee sir, maybe take on the next speaker. Okay. So our last speaker for the day is Shravil Shakalya from Global Schools Foundation. Shravil, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Am I audible and visible?
You are audible and visible. Please start.
A nation is not made by childish accumulation of shiny metals, but it's enriched by the economic prosperity of its people. Serene greetings to the respected jury members, distinguished guests, and my fellow contestants. I am Shraval Shakalya. Today, I'm going to speak in favor of the motion relying on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is harmful. Dear friends, crypto means concealed or secret, and currency is a medium of exchange for goods and services. And this wonderful oxymoron is trying to control the economy of the entire globe. Now, before proceeding, I want to quote two episodes. In June 2015, US authorities convicted a 17-year-old Shukri Amin from Virginia for material support to IS. Amin was charged with helping Islamic groups promoting and contributing the use of Bitcoin through social media. In December 2017, a woman was arrested in New York who used false information to acquire loans and multiple credit cards and transferred all into Bitcoin. Later on, all the digital currencies were sent to Pakistan, China, and Turkey to fund the terrorist groups. These events, while anecdotal in nature, points to the possibility that digital currencies may be easily used to sow the seeds of terrorism. August gathering, as we all are aware, that cryptocurrency is beyond the control of governments or any trusted central authority. Anyone, whether legal or illegal, can perform transactions and mislead the whole system. In January 2015, a key Islamic State fundraiser by the name of Abu Mustafa argued that because the United States law enforcement authorities had begun to crack down on mainstream financial platforms, the dark net should be used to raise funds through digital currencies like Bitcoin. Abu Mustafa raised 5 Bitcoins, valued at approximately $1,000 before the account was closed. Respected jury members, cryptocurrency is more a commodity than a medium of digital exchange. Economy is strengthened not only by the financially strong people, but the whole nation. Help me to understand, is a common man of a country like India able to grasp the essence of cryptocurrency in its true sense? Can he afford to invest in a volatile currency like Bitcoin, whose unexpected changes in market settlement can lead to sharp and spontaneous moves in prices? Is it safe and secure for common man to invest in cryptocurrency, which could be discontinued if a hard fork occurs? My worthy opponents, just tell me, whom shall we approach in a case of fraudulent activity related to cryptocurrency? Revered judges, if a country can be compared to a human form, then the currency of that nation is its soul. The soul supports the entire human form. When the government decides to mandate for the flow of currency in a nation, it shows the efficacy of that government. Simply one question would clear all the doubts. Why the government authorities are not regulating cryptocurrencies? And you are right when you think that there are many loopholes that require utmost consideration before making it an authenticated medium of transactions. Can we afford to ignore the volatility, supply, unanimous acceptance, pricing variations, decentralized status, intangibility, misinterpretation, and blah blah blah? Respected jury members, distinguished guests, teachers, and my fellow contestants, I am a staunch believer in digitalization. In fact, digital age is changing everything around us and has redefined politics, economy, and society. It is reshaping international competition, power, and leadership. Cryptocurrency would definitely prove to be a blessing in disguise, but only and only after addressing all the concerns associated with it. At present, it seems to me like an expensive toy of a spoiled lad, which is in demand by many like him. Nobody knows what it is, but everybody craves for it. Thank you.
Thank you. He's within time, ma'am. No issues. Any questions? Yes, Yuvraj.
Thank you, Chairperson. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible as well as visible.
Mr. Speaker, you talked about terrorism and how terrorism funding activities can take place through Bitcoin. But do you not believe that any criminal can be paid in anything from real estate to gold to Bitcoin for that matter? And Bitcoin can be tracked through the digital footprint. So does that not restrain the criminal genre that you are talking about? Please comment.
Well, thank you for your question. I'd like to answer your question by telling you that I have also mentioned about a state fundraiser named Abu Mustafa, who argued that because the United States government have like break down the financial platforms, he mentioned that they should use the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin on the darknet, which is easily accessible for them because it has no control by the government. So I guess that answers your question that because the state fundraiser has said that they were having problems while like funding their terrorism groups through normal currencies and money, they should use the dark net, which has no control by the government. Thank you.
Okay, is that all, Shravil?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He wants to ask the next question. Okay, Nick.
Mr. Speaker Shraval, you talked about how private corporations and like how Bitcoin is under private corporations and how paper money itself is on government corporations. Well, don't you think private corporations instead can keep the flow and restraint of a currency more restricted and stable rather than a government corporation?
Just a second. Are you questioning our government right there? Is that the
No, I
efficacy
didn't
of our
question the
government?
government. Listen carefully. I said that the stability of a private company is more stable as one individual has the choice of controlling a currency rather than a government in general.
Well, don't you think we choose the government? Isn't there our representatives who are standing there doing all our work? Shouldn't we have trust in them? We live in a democracy, right? Those are our representatives sitting right there. Don't you think that's more stable than the private organizations?
It's not the people of the government who decide the currency denominations, first of all. It's depending on the GDP and other economic values. So you can't say that the people decide the value of the government. You have to first know how it's
You're
decided.
saying that
It's
it's
not.
more stable. You're saying that it's more stable when it's with the private
Yeah.
organizations.
Yes.
So the
Exactly.
currency is more stable with the private organizations. And what about the possibilities of human error or misinterpretation?
Shravil, you
First of all,
complete your answer. Please, you complete your answer. Nick, please, no counter questions.
yes.
Your answer.
Well, can we say that the unanimous acceptance is a very big issue for the cryptocurrencies because the private organizations can't control all of the currency and can't control where the currency goes, right? So there's the possibilities of hacking, misinterpretation, unanimous acceptability. I guess that answers your question. It's of course not more stable with the private organizations.
Shravil, is your
Thank
answer
you, sir.
over?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, with this, we come to an end of this wonderful, thrilling debate on a very exciting topic that is relying on cryptocurrencies like bitcoins is harmful. And I'll request the participants to please stay. I request the participants to please stay, keep your videos on. Keep your videos on, participants. And we are going to have the views of our three eminent judges. And we shall obviously begin with Mr. L.S. Vajpayee. Sir, Vajpayee sir, may we have your views on today's debate, sir?
Yeah. Uh, in fact, मुझे लगता है सबसे ज़्यादा बधाई देनी चाहिए जिन्होंने भी ये टॉपिक चूज़ किया है. तो एक तो जैसा इससे पहले किसी ज्यूरी मेंबर ने कहा था कि वैली ऑफ वर्ड्स में बच्चों को एक भागीदारी मिलती है और बहुत जो बच्चे जो कुछ पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, मैं पिछले 5 साल से लगातार देखता हूँ, वो सचमुच हमें बड़ी उम्मीदें जगाता है. जिस इतने छोटे छोटे बच्चे और इतना ऐसे ऐसे जो विषय हैं जो देश के लिए, दुनिया के लिए बहुत इतना इम्पोर्टेंस रखते हैं, उस पर इतना गहराई से सोचते विचारते हैं और डिबेट कर सकते हैं. तो एक तो ये टॉपिक कितना रिलेवेंट है, क्योंकि अभी पिछले हफ्ते की बात है जब हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने भी इस पे बयान दिया है, भारत सरकार भी जागरूक हुई है, और पूरी दुनिया के लिए तो एक जिसको कहते हैं बर्निंग इश्यू है। चारों हमारे बस एक ये रहा कि 3 फेवर में आ गए और एक ये तफाकन हुआ, लेकिन वो कोई इश्यू नहीं है। सवाल तो ये है कि जिस तरह बच्चों ने बोला, जिस तरह अपने आर्गुमेंट्स दिए, जिस तरह के तथ्य सामने रखे, तो बस ये सच बात है कि ज्यूरी मेंबर्स के लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है फैसला देना। मैं चारों बच्चों को बहुत बधाई देता हूँ, बहुत अच्छा बोले। जब आपसे सवाल किया गया तब भी आपने उस तरह से जवाब दिया। ये जो इशू है उस पर भारत को बहुत सचेत रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि भारत अभी भी, हम सब जानते हैं, वी आर ए डेवलपिंग नेशन। हम तो अभी अपनी बुनियादी जो समस्याएं हैं, गरीबी, भुखमरी, बेकारी, बीमारी, उन्हीं से जूझ नहीं पा रहे हैं। तो इस तरह के इश्यूज से तो, और जबकि हम वो भी टेररिज्म से भी इफेक्टेड हैं, तो हमको बहुत तरीके से बहुत सारी चीज़ों को सोचना पड़ेगा। तो बहुत अच्छा विषय था, बहुत अच्छा सब बोले। वेल, या वर्ड्स को मैं बधाई दूंगा इस बहुत शानदार डिबेट के लिए। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your encouragement to the participants. And I'd like to now request Mrs. Anmol Pannu to present her views. Ma'am.
Well, I am feeling very, very honored to be sitting and listening to these young children. And I'd like to compliment each one of you for enlightening us, because this is something we all are debating, whether to invest in this or not, whether this is going to be our future or not. Definitely at some point, as you all said, digital era is going to take over, and we have to understand this quickly. But we, as a country, still are not prepared. And my younger son also has all the time been tempted to buy a Bitcoin, and we are always discouraging him to do it. We don't know what the future about this is, and I don't know whether he already has on the sly. But, well, my compliments to all of you and for enlightening us on this topic, which is so burning these days. Thank you, and my heartiest congratulations to all of you. You were all amazing. Your knowledge, in-depth knowledge, is wonderful, and you're the future of our country, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words. I would now, last but not the least, request Dr. Onima Sharma to present her views. Ma'am.
Thank you. Relying on cryptocurrencies is harmful, yeah. I must congratulate the organizing committee for choosing this current and vibrant topic for today's school debate. All the 4 boys, you spoke very well and you presented your arguments very well. One thing I would like to say as a jury over here is that when we have to give marks, so we have marks in the category of general impression, and when we are judging offline and online, there's a bit difference. So when you're sitting in front of the camera, so you have to be a bit like we can see you properly. So the way we are, because we cannot, if we are unable to see you from here, there you lose a point or two, and that might make a difference in the main result. And the main thing where you lose your point and something is that on the rebuttal part and on the subject matter. So when you're not asking questions to your opponents, there you're losing your point. So all the 4 of you were excellent, and congratulations to all 4 of you. May the best one win. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Before I really, in the meanwhile, the results are being tabulated by my requested team of the tabulators. I would first like to request Dr. Chopra, sir, if you could present your views on today's topic. No. Okay, I would like to request Mr. Jayaprakash Pandey. He happens to be my ex-principal also of Oak Grove School. Sir, would you like to present your views on today's debate? Rashmi madam, would you like to express your views? So can we have a mic? Rashmi ma'am. Okay.
Was watching the debate only.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rashmi Chopra ji and Dr. Chopra. I'm very happy to have witnessed a very beautiful debate where in the morning also there was a session and now also I see a session. All I see is a bright future India growing up with full confidence and depth knowledge. And we can only hope that as we grow older, we will have a better generation to replace us. And we can gracefully age and hand over everything to you, only to see that you steer our ship even farther into higher seas and higher planes of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your hopes and aspirations. And we are all hopeful that the new generation shall definitely dip their oars in the turbulent waters and steer the ship of the country. Okay, I request Mr. Jayaprakash Pandey from the Department of School Education and Literacy from the Ministry of Education to announce the final results of the national level debate for schools conducted by Value Award. Sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। आज मॉर्निंग में हम लोगों ने कॉलेज डिबेट देखी, उसके बाद पार्लियामेंटेरियन की डिबेट थी और अभी लास्ट में बच्चों की डिबेट। और मुझे लगता है कि सभी लोग इस बात से एग्री करेंगे कि जो सबसे डिफ़िकल्ट टॉपिक था वो बच्चों के पास था। मॉर्निंग में जो कॉलेज डिबेट थी वो पिछले जैसा कि मैं कह रहा था कि 100 सालों से चल रही है, लास्ट सेंचुरी में पूरा चलता रहा कि प्राइवेटाइजेशन होगा कि गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल करेगी, और अभी भी चल रहा है। और मुझे लगता है कि जो संजीव चोपड़ा सर ने टॉपिक दिया है वो अगले 50 इयर्स का में भी डिबेट होगा कि बिटकॉइन कैसे चलेगा या उसका क्या पोजीशन होगी। एनीवे टॉपिक बहुत ही रिलेवेंट था और फाइनेंसेस में, इकोनॉमिक्स में सिक्योरिटी, स्टेबिलिटी, बिलीफ, ट्रस्ट का बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है, और जो क्रिप्टो करेंसी के साथ अभी तक नहीं बन पाया है। जैसा कि मैम कह रहे थे कि उनका बेटा खरीदना चाहता है, तो एक दिन हमने भी पढ़ा कि एलन मास्क ने कुछ ट्वीट कर दिया और एकाएक दूसरे दिन बढ़ गया, तो मुझे भी लगा कि कुछ लगा ही देना चाहिए। बट ये ऐसा टॉपिक है कि जिसमें सब लोग इंटरेस्टेड हैं, लेकिन दो ही चीज़ पता है, क्रिप्टो करेंसी और बिटकॉइन, उसके बाद का नहीं पता है। तो उसके बाद का पता हमें बच्चों ने रिसर्च करके बताया है। मैं सभी जो प्रतिभागी हैं उनको बधाई देता हूँ, काफ़ी रिसर्च बेस्ड इनका वक्तव्य रहा, बोला इन लोगों ने। और जो मॉर्निंग की या दूसरी डिबेट्स थी उसमें काफ़ी वर्डिंग्स पे हम लोग ध्यान देते हैं, बट बड़ा अच्छा रहा कि ये सारे फैक्ट बेस्ड थे, सारे एनालिसिस बेस ये लोग बोल रहे थे, चारों जो प्रतिभागी थे। तो मैं पुनः इनको बधाई देता हूँ। डिबेट के ऊपर कुछ बोल दूँ कि ये जो स्कूल डिबेट का जो सफ़र है, संजीव चोपड़ा सर ने जो इसको कंसीव किया है, मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि जो लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल होते हैं उसमें बच्चों तक पहुँच बहुत मुश्किल से हो पाती है। बट जो वाउ का ये वाला सेगमेंट है, आपको बता दें कि 2000 से ज़्यादा स्कूलों तक इस डिबेट की रीच थी, और वहाँ से केंद्रीय विद्यालय के लगभग 1200 स्कूल हैं, जवाहर नवोदय विद्यालय के लगभग 700 स्कूल हैं, रेलवे स्कूल्स, मसूरी रीजन के जो स्कूल्स हैं, और एक ग्लोबल इंटरनेशनल स्कूल्स हैं जिनके भारत और विदेश में भी बहुत सारी शाखाएं हैं। तो वहाँ से जो है ये बच्चे 4 निकल के आए थे, जो छात्र हमारे सामने फाइनल में प्रेजेंट कर रहे थे। तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है कि ये वाव का जो सेगमेंट है वो उन तक पहुँच रहा है। जो साहित्य को लेकर, सामाजिक चेतना को लेकर जो एक सोच है वो उन तक पहुंच रही है। और जैसा कि पन्नू साहब कह रहे थे कि फ्यूचर ब्राइट है, वो इनकी डिबेट से पता चल रहा है। मैं पुनः बधाई देता हूं। विनर तो चारों हैं, बट अंक देने पड़े हैं जूरी मेंबर्स को, जैसा कि मैम कह रही थी कि डिफ़िकल्ट है। उसके बेस पे मैं आई एम प्रिविलेज टू अनाउंस दिस रिजल्ट। और जैसा कि परंपरा है, 4th से ही रिजल्ट शुरू करते हैं। 4 प्रतिभागी हैं। तो चौथे स्थान पे हैं श्रीधर शर्मा जी। श्रीधर शर्मा को बहुत बहुत बधाई। उनको वैली ऑफ वर्ड्स की तरफ से 11,000 रुपये का 11,000 का अवार्ड मिलता है और सर्टिफिकेट। बहुत बहुत बधाई। तीसरी पोजीशन पे हैं निक वर्गीस। और सेकंड और फर्स्ट के लिए जो पोजीशन है, यहाँ सब ऑनलाइन मोड पे है। नहीं, एक विद्यालय में परंपरा रहती है कि हम ऑडियंस से ही पूछते हैं कि कौन होगा, बट यहाँ मैं नहीं पूछूंगा क्योंकि जूरी ने डिसाइड कर दिया है। तो दूसरी पोजीशन पे हैं युवराज चौहान, एंड द विनर इज श्रमिल संकल। So congratulations everyone. Congratulations Ravid. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for announcing the results for us. So may I announce that the first position holder shall be getting 51,000 plus the certificate. Second position Yuvraj Chauhan 31 plus the certificate. And third and fourth, Nick Varghese and Sridhar Sharma, you shall be getting the prize of 11,000 plus the certificate. And I once again congratulate all the 4 participants for presenting their wonderful views. May we have your videos on, all the participants? May we have your videos on? Sridhar, may we have your video on, please? That's great. So in the competition, it is but natural that somebody wins and somebody loses. And if I repeat the words of Jesse Owens, the famous US athlete, winning or losing is secondary, but participation is primary. If we have the courage to come and participate, obviously one day we shall definitely win. That's what is my views. So with these words, we come to an end. And before we finally end, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the members of jury. They have really done a wonderful job. I should say that it was really very tough, and the marks have also told me that it was really very tough to differentiate between all the 4. So my heartfelt thanks to Mr. L.S. Vajpayee, Mrs. Anmol Pannu, Dr. Anima Sharma for having spared their valuable time and doing the most Herculean part of this entire drill that we did for the school students. And my thanks to the timekeeper also, as she has kept us updated and helped the judges in calculating the marks. My heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Jayaprakash Pandey for coming all the way down from Delhi and having spared his valuable time for gracing the occasion and announcing the results. My gratitudes to Dr. Sanjeev Chopra, Mrs. Rashmi Chopra for providing Oak Grove School this wonderful opportunity of holding this national level debate for the school students, and we hope that next year we may expand our horizons further, and maybe for Pannu sir for expressing his wonderful views. And as he said that the present generation is smarter than what we were, and this obviously I have been hearing down the line, sir, not to take it otherwise, since I had been conducting the Mussoorie boarding schools vertical and the Indian Railway schools. In fact, all the judges, they had the same viewpoint. So I think that the older generation has already surrendered in front of the younger ones. But anyway, sir, old is gold, as Murarji Bhai told. We obviously rely on the wisdom and of the older generation. So I request Dr. Sanjeev Chopra to present his final views on today afternoon's event. Sir.
Thank you very much. It was indeed a wonderful debate. I just, in fact, wanted to, this is also the concluding session of the Value of Words. So thank you, Anupam, for having conducted this so well. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to all those. And I'd also like to congratulate your teachers and your principals, your colleagues who I'm sure must have egged you on to this. So congratulations once again.